you get through that point where you're fighting for everybody else. You're trying to move towards a life of service with freedom and purpose. I'm going to continue iterating it because I think it's so powerful. And then what?
So, Scotty and I have been blessed to be able to speak on many national stages and share our story to impact others' lives. And, we came a point where we're raising our three boys. We built, have a beautiful home, raising our three boys, and really felt that satisfaction of creating a life that we truly love. It was hard. It was difficult, all the peaks and valleys, but it was also the beautiful tapestry of our life resume, essentially our journey line. And, as I look at my three boys, I realize that their future demands us taking the torch and standing up. And so, together, I say our family is absolutely running. Our family is in this together. But 3 months ago, I announced my candidacy for United States Senate to fight for Washington families. And not just that, but to fight for families all over this nation. That what we've experienced also in the last year and a half demands that leaders stand up. Career politicians are not our future. And I'm fighting every day for our children, our grandchildren's future.
So how the heck did you make that decision? Nurse, mom, wife, all of a sudden, I think I'll go into the Senate. Well, that sounds like a good idea.
Well, I think, when I think of that question, I go back to April 6th of 2005 when the phone rang. And, life, and I think you can relate to this as well, Todd, with your story. I mean, never in a million years would I think my life would go into politics. And certainly at that point, I didn't think that either. But, there's certain things in my journey that I do remember. And one of them was I remember crumbling on the floor at Walter Reed, and that heart to help others. The burden was so demanding that I remember just saying, Tiffany, you can help Scotty now, but someday you'll come back and help everyone else. Like someday you'll make it right. And I feel that, through that journey and then taking on the VA and going to DC, I would go to Capitol Hill and knock on doors. I would take meetings with anyone that would take a meeting with me and share the vision, share what's right. And I started to see, some of the meetings I would go into, I'd have my points all laid out. And the representative would look at their staff and oftentimes they'd say, oh, we haven't looked at that in multiple decades. We haven't. And you just start to question and, ask a lot of questions and question everything. And I started to realize, wow, Tiffany, we have to use our voices. This country demands that we use our voices. And in some small way, I think, our faith journey and the path that God has led us down, he showed us that use your voice for others. I was able to be a voice for Scotty when he didn't have one. And I think for whatever reason, my drive just to stand up for what's right has allowed me and led me into places to be a voice for others. And it's a hard decision, believe me. I'll never forget the moment when I was deciding if I'm really going to, do this and jump into getting into politics. And I was outside and I was looking at my three boys. They're running around. One was jumping in the pool. And I had to ask myself, are you going to say no to this because of the comfort of your life?
Wow.
Or are you going to stand up and fight for your children's future? And it was very clear as day right there that if I didn't do this, I would regret it. And I would wonder if I missed a very opportunity to stand up for my children and their future. Scotty and I always teach our boys, when you have the opportunity to stand up and do what's right, you always do it.
Wow.
So what better way to model that than to put it into action ourselves? And, we really, as a family, this is an extension of our service to this country.
Wow. How does, I've not met Scotty. I haven't had that pleasure or honor. And I'm just wondering, what does he think about all this?
he was the one shoving me out, shoving me out the door. It was interesting because he says, Tiffany, everyone, sort of thinks I should get into politics, but he said, I wish people knew the fighter that you are. He said this publicly as well, is, he says, the only reason I'm alive is because of you.
Yeah. You're, one of the things that is a struggle to find increasingly is not only conviction and values and people who lead with that, but also somebody who has clarity about their purpose and their passion. Mm. And that comes across so strongly. Your convictions come across so strongly that it's, I received that 3,000 miles away, 2,000 miles away with great conviction. And I'm just so grateful. I can't even thank you enough. So it's a very impressive and powerful story that I hope everyone gets to hear. And I hope that your work on the trail gives voice to all the people you've drawn power and reserve and energy from and support from on the trail. So tell me, when are you going to win your election? What is that, 22?
Yes, November 2022.